just to clean up the recording just a little bit, and I'll pull it off from mute as soon as we finish up today. Oh, hello, happy Friday. We're going to do a set today that we haven't done for a long time, probably not since, I want to say early February was the last time we rolled this one. It is probably the oldest known complete set that's been in continuous use, developed back around the year 200 actually. But let's warm up a little bit, and I'll talk about it as we warm up. Feet about shoulder width apart, body nice and loose, soften up the knees, give your shoulders a shrug, and then let them drop. And then begin to turn the upper body from side to side, just letting the arms swing freely. It'll get the body warmed up a little bit. I realize that all of you across the pond have been up for a while now, but those of us on this side of the pond, it's only mid-morning. So this set was developed by a Chinese physician, Hua To, around the year 200, we think. And he is notable for being the first known physician to use general anesthesia. So that dates back that far. Lived during the end of the Han Dynasty and the beginning of the Three Kingdoms period. And the movements themselves, although they were formalized into a set then, have been around for probably longer, since they've found cave paintings dating back, 200, 300 years BC. That describe some of these movements. So 5 animals today. We're going to swap out, we're going to remove one of them from the deer and add one to the tiger. I realize most of you have not done this set before, and there's a deer form that is particularly challenging. And lest I tip over, we're just going to drop that one out and do one of my favorite tiger moves instead. Let's take the hands into loose fists and begin knocking on the lower belly and lower back into our energy center. So we've got the tiger, the bear, the monkey, the crane, and the deer. A little bit of balance work in the crane as we do 2 different leg lifts, single side leg lifts. These movements are particularly fun to do with kids, which will be very clear when we get to the monkey. All right, let's take that front hand up, the body to the shoulder, that little hollow at the beginning of the lung meridian. Nicole, this one probably only applies to you today. It looks like when we go back indoors, we may be over at Che's Taekwondo. I have a long-running relationship with Greg Che. In fact, when I first opened up the fitness center, I was co-located with him. So you might be returning to where it started. That will only be in inclement weather during the summer, and then once we chill back off in the fall. All right, let's come back down to the belly. And then float the hands back off. And let's connect to the breath with a little silk reeling, turning the palms into the breeze, carrying across, slowing the breath, breathing in through the nose if you're able, and in breath across in one direction, and an out breath on the return. And take that at your own pace. There's no need to follow my breath pattern. If you're breathing a little shallower than me, you might be going a little faster. If you're breathing deeper than me, you'll probably be going a little slower. I am perhaps a little more caffeinated than normal. My wife is out of town, which means she didn't get up and drink most of the coffee before I got up today. All right, let's let your top hand float away. Continue with the other hand, single hand reel. Let's bring the other hand back. Let's bring both hands back in. A couple more times across. And then slow and shrink the movement. Return to Wuji. And then we'll do a movement called sinking the chi. Rise to about the shoulders. Gather into the chest. Flatten the palms. Press down. One more time. We'll do this between each one of the animal forms today. Or between each one of the animals, not the individual forms. First up, the tiger. Make fists. Spiral the hands around, and as you breathe in, pull up along the chest, turn the hands over, form claws, and as you reach the top, put your forefingers and thumbs together and look through that diamond. Making fists again, pull back down. And then again, put the hands, forefingers and thumbs together and look through that diamond. This is called looking through the tiger's mouth. Inhaling up, exhaling as you turn the hands over and look through the diamond at the top, looking in the tiger's mouth. Inhale as you begin to pull down. And as you turn the hands over and put them back together, look through the tiger's mouth, down low. One more time. And then release back into Wuji. The tiger pounces on his prey. Form tiger claws as you pull the hands up to across the body, and then lunging forward, exhale. Pulling the hands back up, we're going to step out to a corner. On your heel, keep the legs straight. Spring those claws. Back into the center. Come back through the center, inhaling up and exhaling as we pounce. Inhaling, now we're going to the other side. Out onto the heel and pounce. So the pattern is center, side, center, other side. And we'll finish in the center. And then relax to Wuji. Toe heel out to a moderately wide horse stance. This is your bonus tiger today. Hands float up in front, palms facing each other like you're holding a ball. Spin the ball. And gearing off the bottom hand, we're going to lunge in that direction as we separate the hands. This one's called taming the tiger. Come back up to vertical. Bring your hands back on the ball with the other hand on top. Now we're lunging the other direction. And now let's add the breath. Inhaling as we recapture the ball. Exhaling as we split the palms away from each other and lunge toward the back hand. If you're extraordinarily flexible, you can take an even wider stance and you'll really feel this one. I am not extraordinarily flexible. Last one. Recapture the ball, spin it so your hands are on the side, flatten the palms, and as you toe heel back in, let the hands just settle. Back to Wuji. And we sync the Qi. Begin to sway from side to side. Moving on to the deer. We'll just do a single deer form. We're going to be making antler hands. So pinky and forefinger up, thumb extended. And as you sway to one side, make your antler hands with the other foot, plant the heel. Turn, pivot on the foot, and look behind. Up and over the top, turn the foot back in. Antler hands to the other side, opposite foot to the heel. Turn, pivot on that heel, look behind. The deer turns and shows his antlers. Now the breath. Inhaling as we transition side to side. Exhaling as we turn and show the antlers. These moves may feel a little awkward. They're unusual. Well, Once you've done them a few times, they come pretty natural. Even for those of us who aren't terribly coordinated. One more time to the other side. And then over the top, settling back down to Wuji. Just a single deer form, and let's sink the chi. Breathing in, let the hands come forward into fists and then pull those back around the lower dantian, and then begin to turn the hips with the fists pressing against your dantian. The bear wakes up and stretches. No pattern to the breathing. Take a break from the patterned breathing and just breathe deeply and naturally. Bear movements are fairly easy. The bear shows up a lot in Kung Fu. There are over 20 bear moves in various Kung Fu routines. And let's turn that the other direction. Keeping those fists pressing into your dantian area. And then come back to rest. Keeping the fists, but dropping the hands and beginning to swing the arms. Nice wide swing of the arms. We're going to step out with one leg, and the back arm is going to go with it. And we step out, 2, 3, step back in, swing, step out the other side. 1, 2, 3, step back in, continue the swing, alternating the step from side to side. Stepping back in on the third swing. 1, 2, 3. The bear gets up and walks in the woods. And the last piece of this one is when you step out, it's even better if you can get a little stomp to it. We'll do one more on each side. Step back in, and then just let the swing slow down until you return to Wuji. And we'll sink the chi and move on to the monkey. The monkey steals the fruit and looks behind. So at the bottom, swirl the hands like you're stealing a piece of fruit in each hand, and then slowly drag them up the body as you come up to tiptoes. Turn and look over a shoulder. Turn back to the center. Then release the hands and lower the heels. Now go to the other side and add the breathing. Breathing in, steal the peaches. Breathing out, look over a shoulder. Breathing in, come back to center. And then release, breathe out, lower the heels. This is the kids' favorite. Generically, monkey steals the fruit. for some reason, we always use peaches. One more time on each side. And the last time, steal the peaches. Look around, see if you've been caught. Coming back to the front and releasing down. Second monkey move is a fairly complicated one. So sweep one arm across and look back past that arm. Sweep that arm out across, the other one comes over and plucks the apple off the tree. Pull it back, let the other hand make sure it doesn't fall, and then release. Other side. So sweep an arm across, look behind you, and then sweep that one over as the other hand comes from the back and picks the apple. Pull it back and look at it. The other hand just comes to make sure it doesn't fall. This one's called Monkey Picks the Fruit. It's a fairly complicated move. And we'll pick the fruit on each side one more time. Last apple to pick. And relax back into Wuji. And we'll sync the Qi. If we're moving on to the crane, two crane moves both have a balance component. Hands come together at the bottom. Inhaling, rise up, your hands together. They come all the way overhead. And let the hands swing down in front. Separate. Shift your weight to one side, emptying out the other leg. As the hands pass, lift the empty leg. Inhaling, the hands back together and overhead. Exhaling, shift the weight to the other leg. And as the hands pass the body, lift the empty leg backwards and fly. You will likely notice one side a little easier to do than the other. And here's the modification. Just tap the toe back there if you can't quite get the leg to come up without falling down. And one more to the other side. And settle back to Wuji. Arms float up on the side. Shift the weight to one side. Pick the knee up of the empty leg. Exhale down. Inhaling the arms up as you shift the weight to the other side. Picking up the knee of the empty leg. The crane stands in the pond. And one more on each side. Last one. And we'll finish the set by sinking the chi and then take it into our normal close. Rising overhead, turn the palms to the floor, press the palms, regulating the chi. One more time. This time as the hands reach the bottom, press the fingertips together, pull them up to the ribs, press forward like you're turning a wheel. One more time. As you rise out of that second turn, let the hands separate, toss one away, and let it come overhead and down the midline of the body. Other side. And one more on each side. Last time. This time as the hand floats down, let it come to rest on the heart center. The other one on your lower belly. Step your feet together a little closer and close your eyes. Take a few breaths with the hands separated. Very likely you feel yourself starting to sway a little bit. The animal set is a very energetic routine. And just let your body sway like a bamboo in the breeze. Let's let that top hand slide down the body and either over or under the other hand, both hands over the lower dantian. Drawing our energy back to the center. Let's take one more nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, let the eyes come back open. Release the hands. Give everything a little shake out at the bottom. That was Wushin Qi, the 5 animal frolics, with a little modification. Namaste.